One.
Number 76.
All right, sick.
Offensive tackle, number 77, Jackson Jenkins. Your starting tight ends, co-starters, number 14, A.J. Rollins.
Good evening and welcome to this presentation of high school football on Creighton Prep TV. Tonight, the Junior Jays return home to Burke Stadium to take on 8th-ranked Elkhorn South. It is senior night here, and the playoffs begin next week. I'm Tyler Reedy, joined by Brendan Preisman. And Brendan, playoffs starting next week. What's the importance of going into the playoffs, with a win on a win streak?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Tyler, because the morale boost, obviously, is huge. If you go into the playoffs on a winning streak, no matter how small, especially against a team as talented as Elkhorn South is, or if Elkhorn South somehow does win, a team as talented as Prep, that's a huge momentum boost. That's a huge morale boost because you know that you can beat good teams. You might have beaten a solid team earlier in the season, but then sort of fallen off the rails. Neither of these teams have fallen off the rails so far. A win here for both would be huge. And added to that, if Prep wins tonight, they will guarantee a home playoff game in the first round. And the Birdcage, I know from experience, throws up a lot better for home games than they do for away games.
Yeah, you mentioned the potential home game if we win. Prep is undefeated this year, 3-0 in home games, hoping to continue that tonight.
Yeah.
But it will be a tough test. Elkhorn South comes into Burke Stadium. What about Elkhorn South makes them, the good team that they are, the top 10 team?
Well, I'd argue that the way they've played all around this season, they've played like their ranking. A team in the top tier, but not in the top of the top. So a good example for college football would be a team, say, in the top 25 who's maybe lost one or two games. Those one or two games would be the top 10 teams. So obviously they're not in the upper level of teams with teams like Bellevue West and Millard South yet. But when they've played opponents that they're supposed to beat, they've beaten them handily. And their offense is just terrific. Their running back, Eli Hastad, he's a senior. He's got 627 rush yards for 10 touchdowns. And he's also got 486 receiving yards for 486 receiving yards, for 7 touchdowns. He's very dangerous if they get him into open space.
Yeah, you mentioned Hurstad, the running back, and Creighton Prep, they've been run all over this year. They've had some serious problems stopping the run in the majority of their games. What do they need to do tonight to slow down this Elkhorn South offense?
Well, I believe tonight will be a lot more difficult because on the sidelines, it appeared that Tony Malidi, the junior linebacker for Prep, was injured, and that is huge. Malidi is the leading tackler for the team so far this year, and if they want to win, they're going to need the backups, and especially the defensive backs to step up because, as I mentioned, Hastad likes to get out into space. If he can get out into space and break a couple tackles, it's a gain of 10 at least.
Yeah, Prep about to take the field.
The way for Prep to win this game, I think, is to get Elkhorn South behind schedule and behind the change. Normally, for an offense, you feel like you're doing well if you gain about 5-6 yards on first down. What Prep's got to do is send out a lot of guys to stop the run on first and second down, and then if they force Elkhorn South into a third and long situation, they'll have to throw, and for Elkhorn South, that hasn't always been a good idea this year.
Yeah, forcing them to pass on third down shouldn't be a problem for Prep because when they have been called upon to defend the pass, they have done well this year. But it's just the run game they've had significant troubles with.
10 picks this year, and the most important thing is getting Elkhorn South's quarterback, Elliott Brown, under pressure. If they can make him feel uncomfortable and make him throw the ball early and throw the ball poorly, that's going to work out well for them. Brown's had a solid season, 1,020 yards, 10 touchdowns, but he's also thrown 8 picks. And if they can get pressure, Prep's corners are some of the best in Class A. They've got 10 picks already this year. And
one more time in the regular season, Prep coming down the stairs, led by their seniors on this senior night.
Yeah. And they're losing a ton of guys. to graduation this year. Starting receivers Johnny McClay and Mason Armstead. The starting quarterback John Caniglio. The backup quarterback Braden Woodward. Senior lineman and captain Max Baber. And they're losing Mason Armstead. He's a senior captain. So Joe Boulay, another captain, also a senior. They're losing a lot of talent this year, and I've heard that this is the year that they think they've got a real shot at winning the state title.
For the last time in the regular season in 2019, here comes Prep.
The Junior Jays are led by Coach Tim Yonk, and so far this year they have amassed a 6-2 record. They've done pretty well. Their only 2 losses are to Omaha West Side and Millard South. And Millard South so far this year, if you get beat by them, that doesn't mean a lot. They're very good this year. They just beat West Side last night pretty handily, I might add, and their run game is just terrific. They're unstoppable. But we're not here to talk about that game. We're here to talk about this one.
Yep, the teams have taken the field. Creighton Prep set to kick off to Elkhorn South.
Prep's kicker is Pat Foley, and he's got a very powerful leg. I can't believe this guy's only a junior. I've seen him kick some in practice. He's hitting from the 40-yard line.
Yeah. Longest kick in the game this year for him is 40. Elkhorn South has 2 men back deep. We are off and running tonight. The kick is short, fielded at the 25, and the tackle made immediately. Elkhorn South will begin at their 25-yard line, 1st and 10.
That was number 34 on the return for the Storm, Luca Kazani.
So Elkhorn South's offense, led by quarterback Elliott Brown. He's a dual-threat quarterback. He makes a lot of plays on the run, doesn't have to pass as much, but when he does, he's often looking for his running back, Eli Hustad. He can catch, he can run. He's everything you can ask for in a running back.
Yep.
They'll start at about the 27-yard line.
One back set.
Shotgun formation. Quarterback keep. Brown gets through the first tackle, picks up about 5 yards to the 37-yard line.
Good tackle there by Bullock, the junior corner for Prep. And that was a very good play call by Elkhorn South. What they did was they've spread out all their receivers. Right now they've got trips right, but it's basically on the sidelines. So that means Prep has to take some guys out of the box to respect the pass.
2nd down. Give to Hustad. He's got a lot of space. Slips by a tackler. There he goes. Up the middle of the field and brought down from behind at the 15-yard line of Creighton Prep.
That was Sengstick on the tackle, William Sengstick. And Prep's going to have to stop that. I know that having 4 receivers out could scare a defense into believing that a pass is coming. But with a team like Millard North, if you don't sell out to stop the run, you won't stop it. A huge gain there by Hustad, and likely he get many more tonight.
1st and 10 in the red zone for the Storm. Quarterback keeps. Brown, right side. Inside the 10, inside the 5. Has the angle. Touchdown, Elkhorn South. A quick score on the opening drive. 61 seconds in. It's 6-0.
Yep. And Prep's had some trouble against option teams this year. Millard North ran sort of a triple option formation, and they jumped out to a 30-10 lead in the second half before Prep came roaring back in the 4th quarter with a 21-point comeback. We were on the call for that game. That was incredible.
PAT now. Kicker is Brian Cross. Holder is Will Scratus. The kick is up, and it is good. 7-0 Elkhorn South.
All right. Let's talk about the Prep offense. They're led by senior QB John Caniglio. The starting running back is Vinny Cassiopo. The 3 receivers are Alex Bullock, John McClay, and Mason Armstead. At tight end is Will Manhart. And then on the line, it's Tommy Slattery, Dylan Holbert, Max Baber, Joe Krawczyk, and Jackson Jenkins. This Prep unit is very good on offense this year. They haven't been terrific. They haven't been great. But they've been good, and they've been good enough to win a lot of their games. They're averaging something like 23 points a game.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is Caniglio's just passing efficiency. He's thrown for 1,300 yards, and 17 touchdowns against only 2 picks. Like, he knows that he's going to have to throw to the guys in blue tonight.
Yeah, and Caniglio, he's at his best when the ball's out of his hand quick. Short rhythm passes to guys like Armstead. And they also like to roll him out a lot, right and left. He can make those kinds of throws.
There's a lot of stuff we could say about Mason Armstead, but we don't have enough time to talk about him right now.
Cross to kick it off. From the 40-yard line, it's in the air. Return from about the 4. Up the middle of the field, across the 20 to the 25, and brought down about the 26, 27-yard line.
And I think it was Braden Woodward, the backup quarterback on the return. He's more of a runner than a passer, as evidenced by his stats, but he's come in a lot in short yardage situations this year.
Yep.
And he's got 29 carries for 193 yards and 4 touchdowns. If Prep's offense needs a yard or two, they're going to go to him, and so far he's been money in those kinds of situations.
1st and 10, 27-yard line. They begin Caniglio an empty backfield. And now they will shift.
A lot of motion.
Everybody moving. Cacioppo sets up behind Caniglio. First play, it's a toss. Cacioppo across the 25, and he's only able to get back to the line of scrimmage. It will be 2nd down and 10.
I think the motion was meant to confuse Elkhorn South's defense. Didn't work. They stayed home. Great play from them. And Prep might have to do the same thing as Elkhorn South. You've got to respect the pass, so Prep might try to spread it out a little bit.
2nd down and 10. The pass is caught. That is Will Manhart, the tight end, for a gain of about 9. Just shy of the line to gain for a 1st down. It's going to be 3rd and short.
And Woodward's going to stay on the bench, so this is likely either a sneak or a run by Caniglio. And as you mentioned about Caniglio throwing the ball quickly, that was a good little run, or a good little pass. Manhart settled down in the zone where no defenders were.
3rd and 1. Caniglio gives. Cacioppo looks like he has enough for the 1st down. Depends on the spot.
And it'll either be a 1st down and 10, and it will
is
be.
a 1st down, yes. The chains will move.
Cacioppo
1st and 10.
has done pretty well this season. He's not producing on the level of someone like Hastad, but he's got 504 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground this season.
Averaging 6 yards per carry as well. Caniglio looking to throw. Takes a shot middle of the field. Too tall for the intended target.
McClay.
That was John McClay, the senior.
Good coverage by Caden Ballard for Elkhorn South. And the big problem with Cacioppo is that he's not as much of a threat in the passing game as Hastad is. He didn't have a catch until last week, and that only went for 3 yards. So Prep likes to spread it around, but not to their running backs. And I like the offense they're running so far. That you're going kind of no huddle like most college offenses do, looking over at the sideline for the play.
2nd and 10. Max Sanders is in the game as a fullback. The give is to him, and he gets a couple yards out to the 39-yard line. 3rd and long coming up for the Jays.
Prep doesn't go with those 2-back formations a lot, but if they do, you can be pretty sure that they're going to try and run the ball.
Yeah.
The sticks say it's 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, about 8. 39-yard line. Caniglio in the gun, looking to throw. Now steps up in the pocket, and he is sacked at the 37-yard line.
Great play there by number 7, Bo Weisler, the junior linebacker for the Storm. That was a great pass rush, and that's one thing that Prep isn't very good at. If Caniglio can't get the ball out within 3 or 4 seconds, he might be in trouble.
So a rather uninspiring opening drive for Creighton Prep. Pat Foley is on to punt this. Elkhorn South has 2 return men back at the 20-yard line. Kick is away.
Good punt.
Fair catch made at the 29-yard line.
And now Prep's defense is going to go back on the field. Not a lot of inspiring plays from them on the first drive. It only took Elkhorn South about 3 or 4 plays to march down the field.
Yeah,
and score.
they were gashed immediately. The big run by Hustad.
Yeah. If they keep allowing those, it could be a very long night for the Prep defense.
Absolutely.
Especially if the Prep offense has to play catch-up. They've been okay in situations playing from behind, but they haven't been terrific.
1st and 10 for the Storm. Elliott Brown, the quarterback in the gun. He gives it to Hustad. He breaks through the first tackle and barrels down across the 40-yard line. That's good for another 1st down.
And you can't do that against a runner like Hastad. You can't miss the first tackle. If you get to him, you got to wrap him up and you got to bring him down. And that might be on the missed tackler's teammates too, because he had Hastad wrapped up for about a second or two, but just couldn't bring him down. And perhaps got to maybe start working on swarming to the ball a little bit better.
He's elusive.
He is.
They will give it to him again, burst through the hole, across midfield into Prep territory, another first down. And he's only had 3 carries. He's already getting close to 100 yards rushing.
I know I mentioned it earlier, but the way the Storm spread out their formations just makes it so difficult for Prep to stop them. They've got 4 or 5 defensive backs on the field every play because of how wide the Elkhorn South formation is. And yet, even with 7 guys in the box, they still can't seem to stop Hastad.
1st and 10, Prep 46-yard line. They'll give to Hastad again. Shifts by 1 man and is brought down by a couple Prep defenders at the 30, and he is getting loose in the first quarter. There's a flag down. This could be a hold.
Trevor Winterstein, the junior receiver, was down on the play, and it looked like there may have been a block in the back.
Yeah, it's on Elkhorn South.
So
holding it would appear.
And that'll move him back. And that's huge for Prep, because now instead of 1st and 10, it's 1st and 20. And while Hastad did have that one breakaway run earlier, I don't think he's normally got about 5 or 6 yards after contact, I believe. But if they can get him down pretty quickly, it'll be 2nd and very long.
1st and 20. The running back is Mackay Nelson Douglas. They will give to him. Stopped at 1st in the backfield, then broke out and got 5 yards to the 49.
They've got a lot of shifty backs, and did you say that was Nelson Douglas?
Yeah, number 2.
He's listed on their depth chart as a quarterback, but at 6'2", 200 pounds, he's one of those do-it-all guys.
Yeah, he's their Swiss Army knife.
And it appears there was an injury timeout for Elkhorn South. The player down was their starting O-lineman, the junior Cooper Taylor. He jogs off under his own power, so he'll likely be back in a couple plays.
2nd and 15. Nelson Douglas is still the running back.
4 receivers out wide.
Brown in the gun. Hands it off. Nelson Douglas across midfield down to the 46. It's going to be 3rd and long. Looks like 9 or 10 yards they'll have to get on 3rd down.
Good tackling by Prep there.
There's a flag down too. Might this be another hold? Looks like a personal foul.
Likely on Prep as well.
Face mask.
Face mask.
Ah.
That will hurt Prep. And Nelson Douglas so far appears a lot easier to tackle, and that face mask will move the sticks. But so far he appears a lot easier to tackle than Hastad, but that might be because at 6'2", 200 pounds, there's more of him to tackle. It's a lot easier to be shifty when you're only 5'10" and when you're only...
It's hard enough to stop their run game.
What? 5'10", 175.
Can't have penalties too. That is a give to Hastad, and he's out to the 22, 21-yard line. Good gain on 1st down, 8 or 9 yards.
He is just so shifty. He's hitting the right stick or the B button on almost every play. For those uninitiated in the EA Sports football video games, the B button is the spin move, and the right stick is how you juke people.
He can explode through holes, and he's got a very good offensive line to open him up.
Very good top-end speed, too.
2nd and 2. Hastad again. He's got the 1st down. Inside the 15, inside the 10, and dragging defenders with him down to the 8-yard line, where it will be 1st and goal.
You mentioned the line, and I got to tell you, they're pretty good. All juniors and seniors, all over 260 pounds. That's a big line, and it's going to be hard for Prep to move them, especially when one of Prep starters, Tommy Slattery, he's only 205.
This is Hastad running right. Shifts by the 1st man. Boulay couldn't make the tackle. Did he lose the football? I think he did. Waiting for a signal. Prep has recovered it.
That was a huge hit. I think that was Armstead on the stop right at the goal line.
Yeah, he was just a step away from scoring, and they forced the football out.
Great move by Hastad to get there. And Armstead just met him at the goal line and stood him up. That is a huge play for the Prep defense.
The only downside of it, Prep didn't recover it in their end zone for a touchback. They were out of the end zone, so they get the ball at, looks like their half-yard line.
5:32 remaining in the first quarter. Can Prep get something going on their second drive, assuming they could get out of the end zone?
Absolutely.
I'd look for either something up the middle or a toss play here.
Can't try to be too cute here. Got to get out of the end zone. It's Caniglio. Is able to get maybe a yard on that.
He got out of the end zone, so.
Yeah. Out to the 2-yard line.
And with those fake handoffs, especially near your own goal line, you've got to be careful because those take a second or so off the time that your those add a second or so to the time that your blockers have to hold. Not do a holding penalty, but hold the defense from getting to you. And that, it's a little dangerous.
Absolutely.
On your own goal line.
2nd and 9, 2-yard line. I formation again. Caniglio's going to throw off play action. Pass over the middle. That is brought in by Manhart, his second catch of the game.
Great play call.
And Prep out of their own end zone across the 15. Mark it at the 16-yard line, first down.
Gain about 14 to Manhart. And I like the play action. I think that they've got to keep that up because Elkhorn South, in practice, they're more used to defending against the run.
Caniglio keeps up the middle. Pickup of about 2 yards to the 18. Actually, they'll mark him 17-yard line. They'll make it 2nd and 9.
Caniglio a little bit more of a passer than a runner, but on the year he does have 312 rushing yards and I believe 233 yards and a touchdown on the ground.
He can scamper. He's going to have to here. Pressure's coming. Still on his feet. Caniglio rolling right now, throws at the feet of his receiver, Mason Armstead.
Great escapability by Caniglio. Has to be helped up by a teammate. And the closest guy to that ball was actually Elkhorn South cornerback Caden Ballard. And that was just a busted play from the beginning. There was a man coming off the far edge who nearly sacked Caniglio almost immediately. But he managed to stay alive and get Prep a 3rd down and more manageable than 3rd down and 15.
3rd and 9. Prep is 1 for 2 on 3rd down conversions thus far. Caniglio looks to throw. Pressure coming. Lofts it. Caught. Didn't get there. Armstead is very, very close.
And
depends on the spot.
Yeah, this is going to be very close.
They got it. First down Prep.
Great play by Caniglio. He threw that as he was being taken down. And Armstead made what was for him a pretty easy catch.
Subbing in for Vinny Cacioppo is Anthony Collins. He's the running back.
Yeah, AJ's teammates call him. He's listed as a wide receiver, but he's pretty fast and pretty shifty as well. So they might try to get him out wide towards the near side.
He runs a wide route. Caniglio was looking his way. Now he's going to step up, crosses the 30, out to about the 33-yard line, it would appear.
Good play by Caniglio. And Prep's having a pretty good drive so far, pretty characteristic of them too. Normally Prep likes to take a lot of time off the clock, a mixture of short passes and runs. There's 3:20 to go in the first quarter, and they're doing what they have to do right now.
2nd and 4, 32-yard line. 2 guys in the backfield with Caniglio. Looking to throw. Oh, now he throws it back. That's a backwards pass. Collins is going to have to pick that up and run with it, and that's going to be a big loss.
I'm not sure what happened there. I think they were trying to run some sort of speed option to the near side.
Yeah.
Caniglio hesitated for a couple of seconds.
He had to rush it.
He's either yelling at one of the coaches or one of his teammates, perhaps Mateo DeGeorge, who was on the left side. Maybe it was looking to be sort of a receiver screen that just didn't work.
Simply put, an ugly play. 3rd and 12 from the 24.
You can't afford mistakes like that.
Caniglio looks to throw, taking a shot. Downfield, Armstead open.
What a catch!
At the 40-yard line, what a grab by Armstead. He went up and got it.
Great throw by Caniglio. Great catch by Armstead. And Dominic Hooker, the junior safety, just let Armstead get behind him.
Collins still the running back on this 1st and 10 from Elkhorn South Territory. Caniglio throws, and it's incomplete. Looking for Armstead. Everybody wants a flag.
They won't get it. That was close. Coverage again by Hooker. And going back to that play, I think that if Caniglio had gotten just a bit more power on that ball, that could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, slightly underthrown.
Armstead had to slow up a little bit. I'm not saying it was a bad throw at all.
Yeah.
But if Armstead had caught that in stride, there was no one between him and the goal line.
There was a lot of separation there. 2nd and 10. Caniglio looks to throw. To his left, has his man. That's Mateo DeGeorge, a senior. To the 34-yard line. 7 or 8 yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 3.
And this is Caniglio. This is what Caniglio does at his best. He spreads the ball around. He finds everybody. Obviously, he looks for Armstead more than anybody else. Armstead's the leader at prep in catches, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. And in most cases, he has over half, which are pretty insane numbers.
3rd and 3. The receivers are DeGeorge and Armstead. The running back is Collins. Fake to him. Throw on the run is caught. That is Mason Armstead for a 1st down. Inside the 30-yard line. Looks like the 26. And now Creighton Prep starting to move the ball a little better here.
And that's really how Armstead does his work. He's averaging 14.1 yards a catch, but the short passes are where he, quote-unquote, makes his money.
Caniglio looks to throw, taking a shot. Right side, end zone, incomplete. Out of the reach of Mason Armstead, who is in single coverage.
Again with Hooker, and that's going to be a matchup I think Caniglio is going to look to target.
Yeah.
Armstead is 6'1", 170.
Hooker's 5'8", 175.
Yeah, so
looking for a mismatch.
Armstead's got the height advantage, and Armstead's got more experience. Hooker's only a junior.
Yeah.
So they're going to look his way probably quite a bit.
Hooker's quick to the ball, though. I formation on 2nd and 10.
One tight end.
Caniglio fakes to the fullback. He still has the football, strung out on the perimeter. May be able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Looked like some sort of fullback option there.
Yeah.
And Prep might need to start spreading it out more. If you've got 2 fullbacks and 1 tight end in there, you've got 3 guys in between the hashes, and that really lets the defense come in, and that makes it pretty easy to stop the run. And now Prep's going with a 5 wide set with A.J. Rollins, who's actually a junior tight end with D1 offers. He's split out very wide.
Prep's got a couple.
He's 6'6".
3rd down conversions on this drive. Looking for another one on 3rd and 10. Armstead to his right. Lofting to the end zone. That ball is incomplete.
Oh.
Armstead could not bring it in with possession in bounds. Flag is down. Back at the 35-yard line. We'll check that.
Might be a line penalty.
Holding.
On the offense.
I think Elkhorn South's going to decline that.
Yes.
And make it 4th down.
And now we might get to see Pat Foley kick a field goal for the first time.
This would be about a 44-yarder. His long this year is 40.
I think he's got I think he could have a shot at this, but it looks
Yeah, they're not going to give him
like they're
one.
going to stay out.
Yeah. Going forward on 4th and 10.
44 seconds left in the first quarter, and this could be a crucial play for the rest of the game.
4th and 10. It would appear that it's going to be an empty backfield for Caniglio. 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Armstead on the slot toward the bottom of your
Rollins
screen.
alone in single coverage.
Looking to throw, end zone. That's overthrown and incomplete. And Elkhorn South bends but doesn't break. They will take over on downs at their 27-yard line.
Just 38 seconds to go in the quarter, and Caniglio got that ball out really quickly. Armstead, I believe, was running a poco, what is known as a post corner, and he hadn't made his break yet when Caniglio threw that ball. I think Caniglio felt some pressure coming and just had to get rid of it, but to no avail. So now the question is, can Prep get another lucky break like they did on the 1-yard line?
They're hoping they won't need one. They'd just like to get a stop right off the bat.
That would be nice, but again, 4 wideouts for Elkhorn South takes a lot of guys out of the box.
Ben Warren in the game at running back for the first time. Quarterback keeper, Brown still has it across the 35, across the 40, and he is stopped just shy of the 45-yard line with a 1st down run.
Gain of almost 20 for Brown. And he's a pretty good runner, too. He's got 312 yards and 3 touchdowns on the season. His run game is definitely more planned than Caniglio's. They have a lot of, I'm guessing they have a lot of designed runs for him in the playbook.
This is a give to the running back. I don't think that's Hustad. It might be. No, that is Ben Warren.
Great tackle by Nas Perry. for Prep. He's a senior. He's only 5'11", but he weighs 270 pounds. That's a lot of player to move.
This is going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Elkhorn South leads 7-0.
We've got a defensive battle here on Friday night. Hopefully a lot more offensive fireworks to come.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Burke Stadium on this wonderful chilly Friday evening. Currently the score is
7-0. Second quarter getting underway. Brown will keep it. Not much there. Bounces it out and gets maybe 3 yards to the 48 into Prep territory.
good extension of the play. In case you're just joining us, I'm Brendan Prizeman alongside Tyler Reedy.
The big story so far in this game has been the running game for Elkhorn South. They've gashed Prep quite a few times, especially with Eli Hustad, but he is not in the game and hasn't been yet on this drive.
Yeah.
So 3rd and 3 at the 48.
They had one touchdown and could have had another if Hustad didn't fumble it on the goal line.
Yeah. Let's see if Prep can get a big stop. Run it. This is Warren. He's got the first down and plenty more inside the 40-yard line down to the 36.
Warren with some speed there. And Elkhorn South still hasn't had to throw a pass, and that's really how you know a run-heavy offense is working. I mentioned before the game that Prep would have to keep Elkhorn South behind schedule if they wanted to force some turnovers, and so far they really haven't done that. The Storm are getting 5 yards a carry.
Warren is wrestled down at about the 31. Good for 4 or 5 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 5 or 6.
Prep's still in that 4-4 of theirs, but then normally bring one of the linebackers out to play defense.
Brown gives Warren, bounces it outside. They couldn't bring him down, and then they do after a gain of a yard at the 30-yard line. Going to be another 3rd and 3 or 4 for Elkhorn South.
And the problem that Prep has with that 4-4 is that with only 3 defensive backs, if the other team brings out more than 3 receivers, you're going to have to send somebody out. And Prep really hasn't had more than 7 guys inside the tackle box, which is the area in between the tackles. They haven't really had more than 7 guys in the tackle box all game.
Looks like a timeout. Elkhorn South called it.
Perhaps a
prior
pass
to this 3rd down.
Perhaps a pass is coming next, because the way they've been running the ball so far, they don't need to call a timeout to talk to their O-lineman about how to block.
But, I mean, this is 4-down territory, so if they just want to run it and get at least halfway there, they could do that.
They could, yes. But then again, you wouldn't really need to call a timeout for that. And this is good for Prep because you mentioned that the run game has been gashing them, quite literally, just running right through the defense.
Yeah,
and eventually, a running team like this can get you fatigued. Millard North or Elkhorn South has already taken nearly 2 minutes off the clock. There's 10:05 to go in this first half.
Both teams break the timeout huddle. It'll be 3rd and 4 from the 30-yard line.
And they've got 2 backs in the backfield now. That's dangerous. Hustad and Warren. So far, their 2 best guys and their quarterback, Brown.
Prep's got a lot to look out for here on 3rd down. It is Hustad, and he is brought down immediately. Joe Boulay got to him first.
That's a tremendous play. They went with a little bit of an inverted veer to the left.
So now 4th down. Offense is going to stay on the field. This is much too far for a field goal try.
Well, for most normal kickers, yes.
Yeah.
And it appears Hastad will be out there. Warren on the bench. And
Hastad split out as a receiver. He's in the slot to the top of your screen.
they've got Blaze Doxson, another senior running back.
4th down.
Pass.
Brown to throw. Look at end zone. It is caught for a touchdown. Guy Hunt, it would appear.
What a name. Guy Hunt.
And what a throw it was from the quarterback, Elliott Brown. A perfect strike to the end zone on 4th down.
Hunt's actually been in the starting lineup in a couple games before he got replaced by Trevor Winterstein, but they ran the play action, and that's a tough thing. When you're facing a running team, you don't expect them to throw the ball, especially on play action. And
Brian Cross
Hunt.
on for the PAT. He puts it through.
Hunt just got behind the defense. Like in the Nebraska-Colorado game back in week 3 when Colorado ran the flea flicker, the Nebraska defense was unprepared, and that's how they got a receiver behind everybody.
Yeah, they sold out to the run.
Which, again, is not a bad thing for Prep to do. They had man coverage, and it wasn't bad, but a terrific throw from Brown. 9:19 to go now.
14-0 Elkhorn South. They have scored on 2 of their 3 drives, and the one they didn't score on, they fumbled at the 1-yard line. So overall, for the Elkhorn South offense, they have done very, very well.
And Prep's dealt with situations like this before, but never against teams this talented. Elkhorn South is quite deserving, I would say, of their number 9 ranking in Class A.
Yep, Prep will have to pull another one out of their magic bag of comebacks, as they've done so many times this year.
Yeah, but I wonder if teams that have made it to the rankings have a magic neutralizer, because Prep was down against West Side and Millard South as well and couldn't do much against them. But let's hope the offense can get something going on this drive and come away with at least 3.
Brian Cross to kick it away. Line drive toward the end zone. That is going to be a touchback. What a kick.
Cross is a pretty big guy. He's kind of light, only 170 pounds, but 6'3". That's rather tall for a kicker.
So Prep will have it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. They got into Elkhorn South territory to the 30-yard line last time. The drive stalled out, and they couldn't convert on 4th down.
Looks like another I formation play with 1 tight end.
Fullback in the game. 1st and 10 for Caniglio and the Jays. He will toss it to Cacioppo to the right side. Gets 2 or 3 yards shy of the 25.
Elkhorn South's defense on that play just looked really fast. They had 3 or 4 guys swarming to the ball almost immediately.
They are quick to the football. Prep goes hurry up, 2nd down.
2 backs. Watch for a run, Cacioppo to the left.
Cacioppo looking left. Throws, ball was knocked down. They rule it an incomplete pass. I believe he was looking for his fullback on the play.
And
Max Sanders.
that's just a tough play, and Prep really hasn't gotten ahead of schedule at all so far this game. I don't think they've had a play of longer than 15 yards.
Well, the throw to Armstead, but that's about it.
Yeah. And then they did have the throw to Manhart on their own goal line.
Yet another 3rd down for Prep.
4
they need
wide
6. Caniglio to throw, looking right, has a man. Armstead, are the feet in bounds?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. A 1st down out near the 35. Caniglio goes to Armstead again. He's been his favorite target.
Armstead on the out routes, it's almost impossible for a team to stop. The out route is very difficult to defend in the first place, but you add in someone as talented as Armstead, and you've got trouble.
1st and 10, about the 32-yard line. Caniglio goes to the right, fakes out the first guy, and gets across the 35.
Good shifty move in open field to beat Nelson Douglas, the linebacker. And that's what a quarterback needs to do if they want to lead a team to victory in a situation like this. Putting his body on the line, beating the linebacker, gains about 6 yards. That's a good play from Prep. They're still in the 10 formation. One back, no tight ends. Spreading things out again.
2nd and 4. This is a screen pass. It is caught. Maybe just short of a first down. That was the wide receiver, John McClay.
And good effort, good execution on the play there from Prep. But receiver screens, it appears he got the first down.
Yeah, you got it.
Receiver screens, they're difficult because they're either feast or famine. Either you get 1 or 2, or you get 12 or more.
Yeah. 1st and 10.
Trips right.
43-yard line. Caniglio looking to throw, going to take a shot downfield. It's a wobbly pass, and it's intercepted at the 30-yard line by Trevor Winterstein. He's returning it across midfield and out of bounds. Flag comes flying in. 2 flags are down, 3 flags are down. They're all over the place.
Probably an unsportsmanlike conduct. It happened after the fact.
Yeah, I don't know. There could be multiple penalties on this play.
I don't know what happened on that throw. I don't think Caniglio got hit, but that was one of the poorest throws I've seen from John Caniglio all season, and I've been to almost every game. He was looking for
illegal
Armstead.
contact on the defense, it looks like. Or was it a block in the back on their turn? Yeah, block in the back. But it came
after the fact.
Yeah, it came after the interception, so that's going to stand.
7:57 to go, and just Caniglio's 3rd interception of the season.
Yeah, that was just, I don't know if the ball slipped out of his hand, but that throw just didn't look right.
The only 2 he's thrown so far this season are against Columbus and Millard South. Against Columbus, Prep had to come back and score 13 in the 4th quarter, and against Millard South, they lost by 20
a
points.
lot, yeah. Elkhorn South takes over, already up by 14. Elliott Brown, quarterback keeper, run to the right side. He's got a lot of space across midfield and tripped up.
Terrific
at the
speed by Brown
47-yard line.
And one thing that has been working really well so far for Elkhorn South is the receiver blocking, because they've put out at least 1 receiver on every play on each side so far. And I believe that Brown actually ran that to the 3 receiver side, but he had a bunch of open space because the receivers were blocking so well.
On this first down, he gives to Hustad, who gets close to the 40. 5 or 6 yards on that play.
And those runs up the middle are a lot easier for Prep to defend, simply because they've got more guys that aren't getting blocked to do it.
2nd and 4, 41-yard line.
Trips left.
Brown gives it. Hustad, he has the first down, it would appear, to the 36. Hustad has been busy so far.
Yep. With 7:02 to go in the 2nd quarter, he's already got at least 7 carries, and he's definitely past the century mark by now.
Yeah.
And he could have had the touchdown.
Yeah, the only slip up the fumble at the goal line.
Doesn't look like that's going to matter much so far, though.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Clock ticking, 6:50 to go. Motion.
Brown gives to Hustad. They fake the flip to the motion man, and Hustad is still on his feet. Look at the moves. Oh my goodness, he is still going and all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. My, oh my, that is what makes him so good.
Yeah, and there's not a lot you can say on that play for the defense. I mean, the trickery worked for about a second or so. Hustad made his own room on that play and broke at least 4 tackles. I am simultaneously very happy and very sad. We do not have replay review. I'm very sad because I want to see how he did not get tackled, but I'm very happy because I don't have to see how he did not get tackled.
His elusiveness has been on display. The kick from Brian Cross is through the uprights. Elkhorn South 21, Creighton Prep nothing.
And this is already, I believe, the biggest first half deficit that Prep has faced the entire season.
Yeah.
They lost to Westside by 28 and Millard South by 23. But those losses had multiple touchdowns from each opponent in the second half.
Well, Prep's got to get it together, especially on defense. Maybe their offense can give them a momentum boost on this next drive.
Maybe a return for 6 on this kickoff. That would work wonders.
6:36 remaining in the first half. Brian Cross setting the football down for Elkhorn South, preparing for the kickoff.
And if Prep can't get a touchdown on this, at least a good return and then a long drive, because the defense probably needs a lot of time to rest.
Prep needs to control some clock. It's another line drive kick, not as far as the last one, returnable, but they're not going to take a chance at that. Touchback. Prep will begin this next drive at the 20-yard line.
It's kind of surprising that Prep puts Braden Woodward back, 6 foot, 175 pounds. He's a good runner, but in case Caniglio gets injured, they're going to need a capable backup. Yeah. And Woodward is very capable, but if he gets injured on special teams, they'd be in trouble.
Or maybe they're just warming him up.
Yeah.
1st and 10 for Caniglio and the Jays. Caniglio, play fake to Cassioppo, throws over the head of Manhart, and he took a shot.
Great play there from Caden Ballard. He saw the pass and came in and lit Manhart up. That probably would have been incomplete even if the pass was on target.
He hit him in the back.
Because Ballard was coming hard. And again, Prep's still going with the 2-back, with the 21 set, 2-back, 1 tight end. And again, I feel like this team's a lot better when they're spread out and they're able to use their speed.
2nd and 10. Caniglio wants to throw. Didn't have his man Armstead, and he is sacked. And that is what happens when he can't get it out of his hand quickly. Elkhorn South's pass rush got home. 3rd and long again for the Junior Jays.
And that was Mackay Nelson Douglas, the junior linebacker. And Elkhorn South's been sending pressure on almost every play, and I really can't fault them for it. Caniglio seems like a different quarterback than he has been, simply because I think they might be getting to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's made some good throws, but overall just hasn't been what Prep's needed. This is a screen pass.
There appears to be a flag on the field. Likely.
Pass is incomplete anyway.
Likely illegal procedure.
Yeah.
Or some sort of motion penalty. Yes. Illegal shift.
Yeah, pre-snap penalty. 3rd and longer for Creighton Prep. Not exactly what they need when they're down by 21.
And no, they decline it.
Yeah.
Special teams coming out again, and that is not at all what the doctor ordered for Prep's defense.
Yeah.
Prep's offense only out on the field for about a minute or so and got nothing done. And assuming that Elkhorn South can get a good return from either Winterstein or his counterpart, who are back at about the 45, Elkhorn South will have a short field to work with.
Pat Foley on the punt from his 5-yard line, gets it away. This will be Trevor Winterstein making a fair catch on the Prep side of midfield.
That is not good. And it appears that his punt return mate was Hastad, who will stay on for the offense and look for his 2nd score of the day.
Yeah. You mentioned Hastad in the return game. He's got a kick return touchdown this year.
We may want to be quiet. The announcer is talking about the World Series game going on tonight. Maybe we should start talking about that instead of this game. That would be a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
5:43 to go.
Brown in the gun. He gives to Hastad. No, he kept it. He's strung out on the perimeter. He's got nowhere to go, and he is brought out of bounds by Prep's Alex Bullock, who plays on both sides of the football.
Good play by Bullock, but a better play from Nas Perry, number 75. We talked about him earlier. 270 pounds, but he was moving on that play.
Yeah.
And he was
contained him.
He was in Brown's face before Brown could do anything.
Yep.
And that's why Brown didn't get anything done. It's 2nd and 18.
Not an easy task, trying to get some of it back. Moving to the right. It's a handoff on a jet sweep. And turning the corner is Blaze Doxson. And he gets a big chunk of it back. Very close to a 1st down, actually.
Doxson's listed as a running back, but lined up as a receiver on that play. And that's what Elkhorn South has been doing all game. They've been getting the ball into the hands of their playmakers, their running backs. That's what we saw with the 2-back set earlier, and that's what we're seeing now with these jet sweeps. But empty set.
Yeah,
Hastad is in the slot to the near corner. Another motion.
And they give it to the running back.
Doxson again.
Yeah, it's Doxson inside the 35 for another first down. Elkhorn South getting into field goal range.
I'm not sure what happened to Prep's defense on that play because it's normally fairly obvious if a team runs a jet sweep, they're running a jet sweep. And yet Doxson had at least 5 yards of open space before he was met by anybody.
Yeah. Well, you ask what might have happened to the Prep defense. A lot of hands on hips on their side. They might be starting to get tired.
Yeah, defense has been stretched thin all game.
Well, they make a play here on the give to Hastad, only a gain of a yard.
That's A.J. Rollins, the junior defensive end. And he, both on offense and defense, is troublesome to stop. 6'6", 210 pounds. If Elkhorn South decides to ever run another pass and he just puts his hands up, good luck.
2nd and 8, 30-yard line. Brown on the gun. Motion man is Doxson. The give is to Hastad, and he is tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Great tackle there by number 31, the senior linebacker, Alex Masick. His eyes stayed on Hastad. They've already run that play a couple of times before. He knew what was coming. He gambled that it was Hastad. He was right. And now it's going to be another 3rd down for Elkhorn South. 3:40 to go.
Prep is in desperate need of a stop. Can they get it here? 3rd and 10 from the 32-yard line for Elkhorn South.
10 formation for them. 1 back, no tight ends, 4 receivers. Maybe a play action pass here.
Well, the running back is Doxson. They will fake to him. There's a flag. False start is the call. And that'll back Elkhorn South up even more.
That's good. And Elkhorn South might be giving themselves away a little bit on this play because Doxson, when he's been in the backfield, which has been a rarity, they haven't handed him the ball.
Yeah.
They've normally handed him the ball when he's in motion. 3:20 to go in the first half. But Hastad is in at this point, and they may try another one of those 2-back sets. And they will not. They will send Doxson out wide, Hastad in the backfield. 4 wideouts again for Elkhorn South. 3rd and 17.
Elkhorn South hasn't really seen any 3rd and longs yet. What are they going to do on this one? Throw downfield. That is intercepted. Inside the 5. It looked like it was Dylan Kraus, maybe?
No, Toby Okafor.
Toby Okafor.
The junior safety for Prep, and that is the 9th interception of the season for Elliott Brown, and that's just a case of pressure getting to another quarterback. We saw it get to Caniglio earlier. We saw it get to Brown now. And you said Prep needed the huge stop.
Yep, they got it.
They got it.
And maybe a chance to build some momentum. For the 3rd straight drive, Prep's going to start at their 20-yard line.
Good return there from Okafor. And it appears Prep is going to go double tight end, 12 formation. They've got both Rollins and Will Manhart in.
First and 10, Caniglio in the gun. Cacioppo to his left. He's going to try and throw. Has a man right side.
It was Mateo DeGeorge and cuts the distance to the sticks in half with a gain of 5. And the short passes for Prep, they've been working so far. I'd be surprised if they didn't look to try and complete more of them. Still in the double tight end set.
2nd and 5 from the 25s. At Cacioppo it is. Gains a couple. Going to make it 3rd and manageable for Prep. They'll need 2 or 3 yards.
With 2:40 to go in the 2nd quarter. And they're going to take out A.J. Rollins and bring in the fullback, Max Sanders. He's listed on the depth chart as a linebacker and tight end, but with so many other tight ends on the depth chart, they moved him to fullback, and so far this game, he's played well. But watch for a run up the middle.
3rd and 3. Prep doesn't want to give it back with time on the clock. Caniglio rolling left, looks to throw, gets it away to Manhart. It's broken up, incomplete.
Great play there by Winterstein. I believe we highlighted him as a receiver in the pregame.
Yeah.
With his 134 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. But as a defender so far this game,
yeah,
he's been playing lights out.
He's made plays, had the interception earlier. 3 and out for Prep.
Huge breakup. And he's now back to return with Hastad. 2 very dangerous return men. as Prep prepares for their 5th, 6th straight punt.
Either way, it's too much.
It's far
Fourth
too
and
much,
3.
especially considering there's still 2:11 to go in the first half.
Foley's punt
Oh, that's a nice
in the
punt.
direction of Winterstein. Makes a fair catch at the 38. And with 2:05 on the clock, Elkhorn South is going to have a chance to put up some more points. Creighton Prep does receive the second half kickoff, I believe.
Hopefully they'll be able to get a quick stop here,
Yeah.
and then maybe get a 2-for-1 opportunity,
Yeah.
because that would cut the gap from 14 points or 21 points to 7.
Yeah. With the amount of time on the clock, though, they might have to force a 3-and-out to do that.
Yes. But forcing a 3-and-out so far, as we've seen, has been very difficult.
1st and 10. The stat is the running back. Motion man is Doxson. They give to him on another jet sweep.
Good edge
Turns the
block.
corner, makes a move, and falls forward to the 45.
Good edge block by Hastad there. And that's unselfish. You don't normally see that from a team's star running back
Yeah.
or even a star quarterback. If they're told to block, they go at it half-heartedly. But Hastad there made a good play, and it resulted in Doxson picking up what he did.
Yep, he can block too. We've said it before, we'll say it again. He can do it all.
Except for throw the ball. That's Brown's job. Well, he actually might be able to throw the ball. Let's hope we don't have to see that.
Who knows? 2nd down. Brown keeps it. Makes a move, has the first down across midfield to the 47-yard line. Looked like he was brought down by William Sainstock.
Terrific ball carrier vision there by Brown. It looked like almost a delayed counter play. He was running to the far side for a couple steps and then made a beautiful cut, found a hole, and managed to get way many more yards. He should not have gotten that much, but he did.
Brown fires. Might have been deflected. Didn't look good coming out of his hand, and it's incomplete. 2nd down.
It's kind of entertaining to watch Hastad on the pass plays because with as good as Elkhorn South's line is, he doesn't really have to worry about picking up a blitzer, so
Yeah.
all he really has to do is just take his hands off his knees and stand up. Good little break for him before he rips off another 20-yard carry.
2nd and 10 at the 47.
Doxson moving to the right. We're going to have trips right on the far side of your screen, or the top of your screen. for those of
Doxson
you
in
watching
motion,
at
this
home.
time from the right. They're going to give it to Hastad, right side. He's got a lot of room. Cuts it back inside the 30-yard line, and a first down for Elkhorn South. And no matter who they give it to, it seems they've just had their way running the football.
1:05 to go in the quarter, and that play so far has been a killer for Prep. It's kind of like the option play in that despite there being only 2 people to give it to, it feels like a lot more.
Clock running below a minute here in the first
Same
half.
play.
Is this a stat? It is,
Same
and he
play.
is going to take it in for another Elkhorn South touchdown. That run not as pretty as his last one, but it didn't need to be. It's 27-0.
He used his agility on that one, used his speed on this one, just got past everybody into the secondary, and he was gone. And it was the same play they had just run.
They just ran it to the other side.
If Prep can't stop that, and Elkhorn South keeps the starters in, they could put up 50.
Brian Cross has been busy with kicking PATs. This is his 4th attempt of the first half, and he's good for the 4th time.
Yep.
28-0 with 45 seconds left in half number 1.
I mean, Prep, honestly, I think, should consider themselves lucky that Elkhorn South doesn't run the option more, because we've obviously seen the speed and agility from Hastad, but we've also seen some great plays from Brown. If Elkhorn South starts running the option again, it's going to be even less fun to call this game. But then again, I was there for the 30-10 game where he came back against Millard North, but I don't think this team is Millard North.
Yeah. It's a higher mountain to climb.
Not that Prep can't do it,
Yeah.
but so far they haven't shown us that they will.
Brian Cross set to kick off. we'll see if Prep decides to try and get aggressive and find a quick touchdown before halftime.
With the way the offense has been going, I'd just kneel the ball and take what comes.
We'll see.
But for Elkhorn South, this could be huge because this could be their first win against a team with a winning record all season. And in the playoffs, you don't play teams with losing records.
Yeah. Here comes the kick. Another line drive. Chance for a return. Nope, touchback.
45 seconds to go in the half. And powerful leg there from Cross. His last 3 kicks have just been right down the middle and a yard or 2 deep in the end zone. That's very consistent and very good. And now Prep may try and come out aggressive or may just kneel the ball and cut their losses. And it appears they're going with their 21 set again, 2 back, 1 tight end. They might just try and run the clock out.
Yeah, we'll see. They got 2 receivers in the game.
Yes.
And it's Caccioppo. Yeah, they're just going to run the clock out. Short gain, 2 or 3 yards. The clock ticks. Prep is in no hurry.
Great tackle by Ballard from the safety position. He saw the ball go to Caccioppo. He came up, got into the hole, and jammed Caccioppo up for a gain of just 2.
Well, the backfield is empty here with 20 seconds left and a running clock. 2nd and 8. Caniglio moving right, fires middle of the field, caught Armstead again to the 37. It's a first down. The clock stops.
And it appears Prep is going to use a timeout, and they will. 11 seconds to go, likely just helping the stats, but maybe they could get a field goal out of this.
You'd probably have to take a shot to the end zone. I don't know if there's enough time.
Well, with 11 seconds left, if they can get a deep shot to Armstead or to George, and they're tackled inside the 20, there will probably be about 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
And then call a timeout and have Foley come on to kick, and 28-3. We all know what happens when you've got that lead in a big game.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan.
Caniglio's got to look for receivers getting behind the defense, but Elkhorn South's going to try to prevent that.
And there haven't been that many receivers. The pick, it was an overthrown ball, and Armstead was nowhere near past the receiver.
Yeah.
They've had one play where Armstead was behind the defense.
Yeah, could have had a touchdown on that.
But 11 seconds left. 5 wide receivers,
Empty
or 4
backfield
receivers,
again.
and A.J. Rollins split out. Let's see what they try here.
They're 61 yards from the end zone. Caniglio steps up in the pocket. Deep ball down the field. It is knocked up in the air and intercepted.
3 seconds to go.
Dominic Hooker off the deflection.
Did the referees rule that he caught the ball?
Is it incomplete? It might have been. Oh, wow.
Yes. That
looked like a sure interception, but must have hit the ground.
Well, either way, it looks like Prep's going to go into halftime shutout for what I believe will be the first time all season.
Yeah, well, Prep's using a timeout anyway.
Yes. 3 seconds to go. I don't think Caniglio's got the arm strength to get it into the end zone from here, so they might look for Rollins or one of their other tall guys.
Yeah. Maybe a screen pass. Just see what you can get out of it.
But look for Rollins or perhaps the 6'1" Armstead or Bullock. Just lob it up and hope your guy comes down with it.
No matter what happens to end this first half, Prep is going to have a lot of work to do in the second half.
Birdcage is still full. I've seen it have only 3 rows in it when Prep was leading 28-0 against Omaha Northwest.
Well, the cold weather had something to do with that too, I'm sure.
Well, it possibly did, but these guys are used to the comeback. These guys are used to comeback Creighton Prep, and hopefully that can happen again tonight.
Backfield empty. Armstead in motion. Caniglio looks to throw. He's going to take a deep shot. It's wobbly again and intercepted by Shea Wright.
And that's really an awful way to end the half for Prep.
Well, it tells the story of the first half.
Yeah, in my opinion, it would have been better to kneel the ball, because if you kneel the ball, you're just like,
Hold on. Injured player on the field. That is Mekhi Nelson Douglas. He is an important weapon
on
to
the
Elkhorn
defense,
South. Yeah, offense and defense.
But so far, you're right, that has been the story of the game. Prep has tried, and they just haven't succeeded because Elkhorn South has been stronger, bigger, and faster. We'll be right back.
You're off.
Good work, guys. Find about things to talk about.
Okay. I have an idea. I'm like Jake. I'm full of bad ideas. So, I was thinking,
Yep, bad idea.
what if we got like sponsorships, you know? We could have like the Godfather's play of the game, you know? And then the Godfathers gives us money. And then we can buy better broadcasting equipment.
I was playing NCAA 14 earlier today, and all I did was run either option or jet sweeps, and I won like 42 to 14. So I could talk about that and how that's compared to this game.
It's a thought. We gotta be consistent doing it.
Oh yeah. Just do something during halftime, you know? Put an ad up. I
I'm
don't
going to
know.
go get some sugar so I'm angry.
What I'd like to do is do like a promotional video about taking this class.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
That doesn't give us money.
No, it doesn't.
But, you know, it's not always about that.
But it gets me a job.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
Ugh.
They're reenacting poker in this one. Where is he? No, let me show you guys the Joker, okay?
And now, we'll turn your attention to midfield and the Marion dance team.
All right, back for the second half. 2 minutes and 15 seconds away from kickoff. If you're just joining us, the first half was all Elkhorn South. They dominated. They lead 28-0. Brendan, what did you see? What made them dominate so much?
Well, in case you don't know my name or his name, I'm Brendan Preisman, and my counterpart in the booth tonight is Tyler Reedy. And really, the way Elkhorn South dominated was their blocking strength, because Eli Hastad, the South running back, had one long run where he forced 4 or 5 missed tackles.
Yeah.
But so far, the rest of Elkhorn South's touchdowns have been brought about by good blocking, and oftentimes a runner for Elkhorn South will get 5 or 6 yards before they're even touched.
Yeah. Yeah, their blocking has been tremendous. Their offense has just gashed Prep so many times on the ground. Now, that's just half of it. Prep's offense has been pretty abysmal thus far. Vinny Caccioppo's been neutralized, only a few carries for minimal yardage.
Yes.
John Caniglio's made some good throws, but for the most part, a lot of overthrows, a couple interceptions.
Yeah.
What do they need to do to improve and potentially put some points on the board?
What Prep needs to do is minimize the short plays. Like, if you can get over 5 yards on every play, you're going to have a great day. But with Prep, they've had a lot of incompletions, 1-yard passes, 2-yard passes. Caniglio needs to have a lot more time than he's been getting. And Prep needs to keep going with the short passing and keep going with, I think, the 4 wide receiver, 1 back formation. Because that appeared to be working for the most part in the first half.
Yeah.
But it just stopped, and really right now, I think that Prep's just going to be playing for pride.
Yeah, well, the most important thing is, I don't know about making a comeback here, but next week is the postseason, and you got to generate some momentum in the second half, because you can't go into the playoffs, playing flat like they have been tonight.
And I'm not sure they've been playing flat. They haven't been playing as well as they could be.
Yeah.
But Elkhorn South has just been terrific in all facets of the game. Offense,
definitely.
Defense, special teams. They're just killing Prep.
Yeah.
And Prep's going to get the ball first. And this could be pretty important.
Yeah, I think an opening drive score is of the uttermost importance here. They just need to get something going here.
And opening drive score, it doesn't necessarily need to be a quick score either.
Yeah.
If they can take time off the clock, that works just as well.
Yeah.
Because the idea is to give a lot less time to the star of the show so far, Hastad and his quarterback, Elliott Brown. And one player coming into this game that we didn't talk a lot about, but he's had a huge impact so far, is number 8 for Elkhorn South. If you watch the first half, you heard his name a lot, Blaze Doxson. The senior running back. He's just 5'10", 175.
But he's
the
fast.
Same height and weight as Hastad.
Yeah.
But he's about as fast, and they've gotten the ball to him on a couple of jet sweeps.
Yeah.
They've ran a couple fake jet sweeps with him and then handed it to Hastad. And I think he's the reason.
Yeah. He's
another reason that the Storm are so far ahead in this game, because Prep's got just too much talent that they have to defend.
Absolutely. Brian Cross made 4 PATs in the first half. He's set to kick it away.
It is 8:19 on this wonderful Friday evening, unless you're a Prep fan.
Kicks away. This looks returnable. Woodward from about his that's Alex Bullock, rather. Out to the 29, 30-yard line.
Got a good edge block there, and a good start to Prep's offense. If you can get over 25 yards on a return, then that's good enough.
So 1st and 10, 29-yard line for the opening drive.
What Elkhorn South's first half kind of reminded me of was playing football games against a CPU.
Yeah.
If you run the read option, the CPU
mode.
finds it almost impossible. Well, not even on rookie mode, just if you're talented enough on any mode.
Yeah. Caniglio rolls right. First play from scrimmage. Fires downfield, has a man open. It's caught. John McClay near the right sideline stays in bounds, and he's pushed out at about the 32. So a good start. They get Caniglio out of the pocket, and he connects.
Yeah. Caniglio on the rollout, especially when he's got time, has just been a terrific quarterback all year. We're not the NFL or even a college team, so we don't have the resources to tell you how good he is rolling out.
Yeah.
But the eye test shows you he's good, and Now it looks like they're going to bring in the fullback, Max Sanders, and
Well, the chains need some time to move here.
wonder what's going on there. But
You had one job.
a good opening play for Prep, and the deep passes haven't really been their forte so far this year. Stick's still talking.
What is going on?
The deep passes haven't really been their forte so far this year, and especially not this game, as evidenced by Caniglio's 2 picks. But if Caniglio's rolling out, that means the defense has to come up.
Well, he's not rolling out here. He's giving it to Cacioppo, and that's his best run of the night.
Absolutely.
Getting close to 10 yards.
Maybe not 10 yards.
Yeah, close to it. About 8, down to the 24.
The stick still hasn't been put down yet, so we don't know.
It'll be 2nd and 2.
Still 2 backs, motions Cacioppo to the left. Just over a minute gone in this 3rd quarter.
Caniglio gives. Cacioppo runs into a wall and is unable to break free. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be another 3rd down for Prep.
Still ahead of schedule, and we haven't seen Braden Woodward yet, and that might not be a good sign because Woodward comes in a lot on situations where Prep needs a yard or 2, and so far he hasn't been seen on the field except for special teams.
Yeah.
McClay comes back in, and Prep will have an 11 formation, 1 back, 1 tight end, 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen.
3rd down. Caniglio rolling left, fires on the move, got a man. That pass is caught.
I think that's Bullock.
Yeah, Alex Bullock at the 15. 1st down, Creighton Prep. This is the farthest they have advanced in Elkhorn South territory tonight. They had one drive that got into their territory, but stalled out. 4th down, turnover on downs.
And Bullock came into his own last week against Millard South, didn't he?
Yeah, 10 catches, 88 yards. Here's the give to Cacioppo. No, he kept it. Down near the 10.
And that's what the read option can do to you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a CPU in a video game. It's like, even if your quarterback and running back aren't that fast, read option in video games is good for 7 yards of carry. Prep keeping, it appears, the 1 tight end, 1 back set, but Manhart motioned out far wide.
2nd down pass, Caniglio screen.
Good
That
block.
is caught by McClay. He gets down near the 5.
Good block there by Alex Bullock, too.
Is it enough for a 1st down? It is. Not. Did he get
Maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, they're walking over there.
These sticks are very tough to deal with. But it...
1st and goal.
Okay, yes, it is 1st and goal. And Prep occasionally will bring the tight end out wide like they're doing now. Will Manhart is to the top of your screen. He normally lines up as a tight end.
Caniglio looks to throw.
Another
Sets it up
screen.
right, and it is
Good
caught by
move.
McClay. Gets out of the 1st tackle and is able to get back close to the line of scrimmage.
And again, that's the feast or famine part of receiver screens. If you get the blocks, they're good. If you don't get the blocks,
Yeah.
although that could apply to basically any play in football ever. But it appears they've got Manhart back next to the lineman now.
2nd and goal. Caniglio is going to keep it himself. Yeah, he kept it, and he lost a yard or 2.
The option. And so far, Caniglio hasn't necessarily made the wrong decisions on the option, I don't think.
It just hasn't been there
No.
either way. Yeah.
The defensive line for Elkhorn South, I know I talked a lot about the big offensive line, but the defensive line is good as well. They only have, according to their positional chart, 3 up men. The lightest guy out there is a 240-pound junior.
Yeah. 3rd and goal from the 8.
And they've only got 3 down linemen, but they're bringing the linebackers up.
Caniglio chased out right, throws toward the end zone. That is caught. Touchdown Jays. It is Mason Armstead getting Prep on the board.
Terrific catch there.
Got the feet in bounds, an 8-yard touchdown pass. Caniglio to Armstead, and it's 28-6.
Another rollout, another touchdown. Well, the first touchdown, but another touchdown on the season for Mason Armstead. That is number 7 for him on the year. Far and away the best receiver that the Junior Jays have.
Pat Foley on for the PAT.
Yeah.
28-7.
And first score for Prep.
Yeah.
That's going to be a huge momentum shift, and it was a fairly long drive. Only 8:04 remaining in the third quarter. Took almost 4 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, so now we know the offense can do it. Can the defense put a stop to Herstad in the run game?
I think the question is, how's the defense going to handle those potential jet sweeps or fake jet sweep handoffs? Because normally, if a team wants to stop the option, they'll bring two guys up, one to spy the quarterback, one to spy the running back.
Yeah.
In this case of Elkhorn South, there are three potential ball carriers if you can include the quarterback, and that's very difficult. So maybe what Prep might start doing is bringing the safeties up and sort of daring Elliott Brown to throw the ball.
Yeah. And you can't miss tackles either. You got to make them when they're available to you.
The missed tackles in the first half were huge.
Yeah. Pat Foley ready to kick it off. It's a short kick, fielded at the 25, and the return gets stopped past the 35, 36-yard line, it would appear.
Foley has been pretty dependable all year with kicks and field goals, but his two kicks so far this game have been pretty short, and maybe that's by design because...
Yeah, because he's only running up from about 5 yards back on both of them, so...
And a short kick has the added benefit of less blockers for the returner.
Yeah.
So it's easier for Prep to get in the man's face.
Yeah. Also might be trying to just keep it away from the playmakers that
Elkhorn South again
has,
with trips right motion. Well, look what it is.
Hustad to the 40.
And that was a tremendous play from William Sengstick, the linebacker, and that's what I said Prep may have to do. They may have to just put someone, instead of the normal assignments, which could potentially be a zone or guard the running back if he goes out for a pass, just put one man on the running back, Hustad, and one man on Doxson at all times, no matter where they go.
2nd and 5 from the 40.
Pretty short gain.
Brown in the gun. He
Same
gives
play.
it. Hustad fighting for extra yards.
I think he got the first
Prep
down.
had him wrapped up, and there's the missed tackle. It's good for a first down.
Well, Prep had him wrapped up is basically how he ran in the first half.
Yeah.
Had. Past tense, not present tense.
What is this? This is going to be an empty backfield for Brown. Haven't seen much of that tonight.
No, we haven't. Motion.
Now Hustad comes in motion. Brown's going to keep it himself, run up the middle. He hasn't really done that since the opening drive.
Yeah, Brown's had a couple of runs, but nothing too big. He did have a running touchdown, I believe, to open up the scoring.
Yep.
But if you've got an empty backfield, there's a lot less running threats for the linebackers to focus on, and you can bet that if there is a run, the linebackers will know who it is and where to go.
Well, the two playmakers we've highlighted, Doxson and Hustad, are both in the backfield here on 2nd and 6.
Uh-oh.
Brown is going to give it to Doxson. Gets across midfield and is tripped up. Nice play made that time by Alex Masick. He's made a couple of those, and it'll be 3rd down.
And what happened there was the edge blocking for Elkhorn South kind of deteriorated. I think it was Nate Allen, the senior receiver, who was supposed to block Masick, but just wasn't able to. And coming onto the sideline is number 70, I believe, for Prep, Keyshawn Pettis.
Here comes 3rd down. They need 5. Brown will give it to the running back, Hustad. He's got the first down, makes another man miss, and Masick brings him down at the 35.
And that was Bullock who missed the tackle. And I think one thing that Prep's going to have to start doing is they're going to have to stop going low, because Bullock, what he did there was he dove for the ankles, but if someone dives for your ankles, that's a lot easier to get around than if somebody dives for, say, your stomach.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to move your ankles around than it is to move your stomach. So maybe Prep will have to start hitting high or higher instead of low.
1st and 10 from
Four
the 35.
receivers out.
Brown throws screen pass.
And
that is Guy Hunt, who had a touchdown catch in the first half.
And that
minimal
play,
gain there.
That play was really doomed to fail from the start. The man who was supposed to cover Hunt, I believe Mason Armstead, was on on the tackle. He saw what was coming, and he just stepped in.
Yeah.
And there was no one there to block him, and that's trouble when you're on receiver screens like that where the receiver doesn't come in. Because there was only one blocker against 2 or 3 defensive backs, and that doesn't work.
On 2nd and 9, Brown is going to keep it. He's got room to run across the 30, across the 25, still on his feet, inside the 10, inside the 5, into the 3.
And there's that tricky option play.
Yep, and Prep missing tackles again.
Great read by Brown, because if you saw his eyes, he wasn't really looking at where Hastad was going to go. He was looking at what was in front of him.
Yeah.
And what he saw was a lot of turf.
Yep. 1st and goal, 3-yard line. Elkhorn South looking for another score. This give is to the running back, and it's a touchdown for Elkhorn South.
He wasn't touched until he was into the end zone. And
that's Hastad with his 3rd of the game.
That's just tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Hastad adding to his already impressive season totals. It's 34-7 Elkhorn South.
Entered the game with just 627 yards. He's probably already approaching 800 or 150 tonight, I'd say.
Yeah. PAT, Brian Cross. That kick is good.
And that will be Hastad's 20th total touchdown on the season.
So 4:47 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Prep trails by 28 once again. After the touchdown run by Eli Hastad, his 3rd of the game. And if you're just joining us, what you saw on that last drive is basically the same thing that's been going on all night. Elkhorn South gashing Prep with the run game.
Kind of reminds me of the Notre Dame-Clemson game for last year, except throw out Trevor Lawrence for Eli Hastad. For anyone wondering why I mentioned that, my colleague is a Notre Dame fan and I am not.
You just had to, didn't you?
I had to.
You just had to.
I had to. But the option working so far for Millard South, or for Elkhorn South. But the important thing for Prep, on their last offensive drive, they got into the end zone. So now they know what works, and they're likely to go back to that again.
Yeah.
The tall kicker.
Brian Cross.
The very tall kicker. 6'3".
Ready to boot it away. He's kicked 3 or 4 touchbacks. He's had himself a good day. Kick is away. This one's going to end up short of the end zone. Returnable here for Alex Bullock. Running up the left side, and he is hit hard at the 23. My goodness.
And for anyone wondering why I call Brian Cross the tall kicker, he's 6'3". There are only 7 or 8 other guys on the Elkhorn South depth chart that are 6'3" or higher, or taller.
Yeah.
It's a tall man, but doesn't weigh that much, only 170 pounds. But his kicks go where they need to.
Yep. And that time the special teams coverage unit did too. They brought Bullock down hard at the 23.
Birdcage down to about 2 rows actually in the birdcage, and probably about 2 rows sitting up in the concourse, who just want to talk to friends instead of watching this game.
Haven't had much to cheer about tonight.
Indeed.
Caniglio starts with a pass, right side. That is caught by Armstead. He's been busy tonight.
He has. He's busy every Friday night.
Out to the 31-yard line. It'll be 2nd and short from there.
And a good tackle there, because Armstead caught it at or near the sticks, maybe a yard short, and the tackle moved him back a couple of yards.
Yeah.
Still 1 back, 2 tight ends.
2nd down. Caniglio will keep it and run left. And he's got a lot of white jerseys coming for him, and he's just going to have to eat it up and get what he can. Might have lost a yard on that play.
Good play from Caden Ballard, the senior defensive back for Elkhorn South. And Caniglio was motioning to Alex Bullock, like, go.
Yeah.
Because he saw the play was blown up. Caden Feldhacker, the senior linebacker, got penetration and got in Caniglio's face, and he just started scrambling left, looking for somebody to throw it to. Probably should have tried to just throw it away.
3rd and 4, 29-yard line.
3:35 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Caniglio to throw, looking right. That is Armstead. He goes up and gets it. Did
Nice
he maintain possession? He did.
Nice catch.
What a
Mason.
grab by Armstead. First down, Junior Jays.
And if there's anyone wondering why Mason Armstead, because if you go online, you can look it up. He's got well over half of Prep receiving yards, catches, and touchdowns. If anyone's wondering why, just watch that play. It's pretty obvious.
There you go. This is Cacioppo, and he has been neutralized tonight, and nothing there. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Armstead's one of those Calvin Johnson type receivers. If you throw it up in his neighborhood, his area, he's probably going to come down with it, unless there's interference or it's just a bad throw. We've seen a couple of those tonight from Caniglio. There's been more good than bad, but his touchdown and interception stats don't reflect that so far.
Yeah. 2nd and 11. Caniglio rolling left. Flag comes flying in. That is a pre-snap penalty, a false start.
Armstead moved a little early, and that hurts. You don't normally expect that from a player as seasoned as Mason Armstead is.
Yeah.
A senior receiver, a lot of games under his belt, but the snap count and the loud crowd noise can get to anybody. And A.J. Rollins was coming in.
And now another whistle. That's a Creighton Prep timeout.
A little bit of a miscommunication. A.J. Rollins thought he was coming in, but he wasn't. And John Caniglio didn't realize it and was about to snap the ball, which also would have been a penalty. First time out of the half for Prep, 2:39 to go. We'll be right back.
We return with Elkhorn South up by 28. 2nd and 15 for Prep. Caniglio looking to throw downfield. Oh, he had Bullock wide open.
He did,
but instead he went for Armstead, and it fell to the ground incomplete.
Caden Ballard, the senior defensive back, has had some great coverage tonight. Hasn't always been Armstead, but he's just been playing great. And
he got an injury.
And number 76, I believe that is, Joe Krawczyk. He got up, he looked like he was motioning towards the sidelines, and then he fell down. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. So Prep down by 28. Playoff start next week. What you've seen so far in the second half, I mean, we talked about trying to get momentum, but you know, now that we've seen a little bit, what adjustments do they need to make now?
Well, the adjustments that Prep needs to make are really just in basically all facets of the game. The offense has kind of started to move the ball, but the penalties, like that false start, the penalties will kill us. The short runs will kill us. I'm not saying abandon the run, but definitely use it less.
Yep. 3rd and 15, empty backfield. Caniglio rolling left. Nothing there. Now he's just going to have to run it. He gets some yards back. Out of bounds, out near the 40. We'll see if Prep keeps the offense on the field here.
And it looks like there's a player down for Elkhorn South, number 52, the junior offensive and defensive lineman, Cooper Taylor. He was in pursuit of Caniglio and might have helped bring him down, but also might have hurt himself on that play with 2:25 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And back to what you're saying about the adjustments. On offense, I'd say maybe start taking a little bit more risks. Instead of going for short and medium passes, go for medium and deep passes. On defense, really just sell out. I don't think Elkhorn South's receivers are much more talented than Prep's corners. So I'd say send 6 or 7 guys to stop the run, maybe even 8 or 9 every play.
Player's still injured here prior to this 4th and 6th
Here's they're still
play.
trying to pick him up. He's a big man, 6'2", 265 pounds.
So you got 4th and 6 here, 38-yard line, down by 28, almost done with the third quarter. Do you go for this just to try and put something together, or do you just punt it away?
Well, I think at this point it's basically just take whatever you can get. This game is basically out of reach, so what Prep is really doing and has been doing since the score got to 21-0, pretty much, has been playing for pride, and it doesn't look like they're going for it, but I would.
Pat Foley's on the field unless they're going to fake it.
And I don't think faking it is a good idea.
Might as well go for it if you're going to do that.
We've seen in past games that faking a punt or a field goal on longer than 4th down and 2 doesn't normally work out well. I think they're actually going to punt this ball.
Well, here comes the punt. Winterstein and Hustad are back deep.
Oh,
it's a high, short kick.
Oh, no.
It's going to bounce. It takes a friendly Prep bounce inside the 25 and down right there. And that's where Elkhorn South will begin their next drive.
A little bit of an iffy kick for Foley, but the bounce and the roll got him a little bit of extra yardage. So now the Prep defense will have to come out and get another stop. And they've made a couple, just not enough compared to what the offense has been doing. It's just tough when you're facing a team that's this big up front and this fast at their skill positions.
So 1st and 10, 25-yard line. I'm sure we're going to see some more of that Elkhorn South run game that's been dominating so much tonight. Coming in motion is Doxson. The snap was low. Brown's going to throw. Pressure nearly got there, and it's caught. What a catch.
That's Hustad.
In the middle of the field, and there you go. Eli Hustad. He can catch it and run it.
Yep.
And he's out near midfield with that grab.
That was a good route, too. That looked like, I think, a deep post. And Elkhorn South's first pass of the second half, and it's a big one.
Yeah.
And like I saw Hustad's stats coming into this game. 486 yards, 7 touchdowns. It's
First down, Hustad is shut down. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 or 11.
So I saw the 486 yards, 7 touchdowns, and I thought, they must run a lot of screen passes. They haven't run a screen pass tonight.
Yeah.
But all they have to do is split him out, and he just uses his speed. And my Eli Hustad has a very high football IQ. It's like a regular IQ, but for football.
Yep. 2nd and 10. Ball at midfield. Brown takes the snap. He is going to give it to Hustad, and he breaks free, making people miss. We have seen that juke move time and time again tonight, and he uses it a couple more times here to get 23 yards and a first down.
Those are the kinds of jukes that land somebody in the hospital with a broken ankle.
Yeah.
And Hustad just keeps going. And one thing I've noticed about him as this game wears on, he doesn't seem to be getting tired very much. Like, he's come out for a couple of possessions, maybe even a couple series, maybe even a couple drives.
Yeah, he's almost getting better as the game goes on.
But when he's in the field, he's going off.
They're going to give it to him again. He's inside the 20, down to the 15. Another first down run for Hustad. Pick up a 14 that time.
Good tackle there from Toby Okafor, the defensive back for Prep. And I think I mentioned that earlier, that we're going to have to hit a little bit higher, like the chest or stomach area. That's what Okafor did, and it kind of worked. But still a first down.
In the red zone.
Elkhorn South still moving the ball at an absurd amount of speed.
This is Hustad once again, and that time he is stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Joe Boulay, the captain, got into the backfield and knocked him down for about a loss of half a yard, under 25 seconds remaining in this third quarter.
Is there anything you've seen on those plays where they've been able to stop him that have been different?
I think what it is they've sent some defensive backs or some outside linebackers on the blitz. They might have to keep doing
give, and this is a different running back. It's Ben Warren, who played a few snaps in the second quarter. He's brought down well behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be third
Alex
and long.
Masick, the linebacker.
Yeah.
And they'll take that snap on the other side of the field in the fourth quarter. But going back to what you're saying about the stopped runs, I think what's happened is Prep sent extra pressure. The real easy way to stop a run is to send more guys than the offense can block.
Yep.
Prep's done that a couple times, not nearly enough, but when they've done it, it's for the most part worked.
Third quarter over. We'll be back when the fourth quarter begins. Elkhorn South up by 28. Back here for the fourth quarter. If you're just joining us, I'm Tyler Reedy.
I'm
joined by Brendan Preisman.
Put your fours up, boys. It's the fourth quarter, and Prep needs just 4 touchdowns to tie the game. Yeehaw.
Long way to go. 3rd and 14 for Elkhorn South, and we got a pre-snap stoppage. Timeout Elkhorn South. Even though they just had the whole quarter break to talk it over, they'll have to do it again.
And if you're just joining us, which you're probably not, because if you saw the score, you wouldn't want to join us. Elkhorn South has just been running all over Prep this game. It's come from, I think, 3 or 4 different places especially.
Yeah.
Eli Hastad, their starting running back, he's a senior. He's got 3 touchdowns tonight. Their starting quarterback, senior Elliott Brown, he's got a touchdown and he's run the ball very well. And then Blaze Doxson, another senior running back, I believe he's got a touchdown as well. No, never mind, he does not have a touchdown.
Yeah, he just had a bunch of
he's had a bunch of good runs off of jet sweeps.
Yeah.
The other guy with the touchdown is Guy Hunt, who is a junior running back who was in as a slot receiver when he caught a wonderful pass from Brown.
Yeah, surprise. They've thrown the ball tonight.
Multiple times,
all these runs. Yeah.
Which makes sense because eventually Prep does sell out to stop the run. And Elliott Brown, from what I've seen in this limited sample size, can throw the ball.
We're throwing it here. Brown's looking end zone. Hastad is there. He has it for his 4th touchdown of the night.
Number 21 on the season.
My goodness.
And that will be Elliott Brown's 12th touchdown of the year, and his 9th, I believe, no, 8th to Hastad. And that was just insane speed by Hastad. He ran a wheel route, and he got out of the backfield so quickly because I believe Prep put a defensive back on him, or at least tried to, but Elliott Brown, his ball placement so far, except for one play, has been impeccable.
Brian Cross remains perfect with the PATs. He's 6 for 6, and it's 42-7.
I believe in my pregame article, I mentioned that he could sometimes be scatter-on with 8 interceptions. Other than the one pick tonight, he's been exceptional.
Yeah, he's been very, very accurate. Both his throws for touchdowns have been right on the money. And for Eli Hastad, I mentioned that was his 4th touchdown of the night. This isn't the first time he has had 4 touchdowns in a game. He's done it 2 or 3 other times this year. He's just been that kind of playmaker all year, and he's doing it again tonight.
And obviously, that's just a new wrinkle to this Elkhorn South offense that I think Prep tried for a quarter to dissect. The original offense was just basically Hastad or read option. And they're like, yeah, we've got this. And then they added the jet sweep. And Prep tried for 2 quarters to stop that. And they're like, yeah, we kind of got this. And then Elkhorn South in the second quarter is like, oh, yeah, we can throw the ball too. And Prep's like, what? We didn't know that.
Yeah, they've been doing it with equal proficiency.
Well, not necessarily equal. The run-pass split, if we could look at it, would probably be somewhere like 90% to 10%.
But when they've thrown it, they've been good. Here's the kickoff return. Out across the 20 to the 27-yard line, it would appear.
And that, I believe, was number 20 on the return, Carson Bartek, the junior running back. Just 11:43 to go in the fourth quarter, and it is a running clock now. The deficit has reached 35 points, so the clock will just run. It's been a quick second half so far.
Yeah, it's about to get quicker.
It's just 8:51 tonight.
Caniglio from the gun. He's going to throw it off play action. Rolling right, nothing there. Now throws, has Bullock. Makes a man miss, gets across the 30 before he's pushed out of bounds by a couple of defenders.
I believe I saw a lineman down on the play, and Bullock and Armstead were really just sitting in the same spot on the field, and they were covered by one defender until Armstead moved out of the way. And that's one thing that you definitely have to avoid if you're prep. Like, throw the ball, throw the short passes, but please spread your receivers out. If one guy is able to cover two receivers so well that the quarterback is thinking about throwing it away, you're doing it wrong.
Empty backfield. Caniglio pumps, throws, downfield, caught. Down to the 36-yard line of Elkhorn South. That is Alex Bullock again. He has been busy.
37-yard gain. He came into his own last week. 10 catches, 80-plus yards.
Yep.
And he's doing it again tonight. Although, so far this year, before last week, Bullock made his name on defense. He had the game-saving pick against Omaha North in week 1.
They fake the screen. Now they throw it. This is Armstead inside the 30 down to the 27 for a gain of 9 or 10.
That's a great play there from Caniglio, Armstead, and the entire prep offense.
Yeah.
We saw the Oklahoma offense with Kyler Murray last year run that play quite a bit, where they would take Kyler Murray out of the pocket as if it were a quarterback run, and then he would just throw it to a receiver. They did that wonderfully in the Red River rivalry game against Texas last year.
Distracts the defenders. Caniglio rolling left here on second and short, fires end zone and out of the reach of John McClay. That'll bring up third and short. Do you think that's a good play, taking a shot on second and short?
Well, they got the first down, so I think a first down shot is okay. I would rather go like a short pass, maybe get 5 or 6 on first down, and then take a shot. But I'm fine with the play call. And speaking of the Red River rivalry game, you know who won it last year? Texas did.
But not this year. Here's Caniglio stepping up in the pocket, firing. It's dropped.
That's a rare miscue.
Absolutely.
For Mason Armstead.
Couldn't bring it in. It was a little behind him, but that's one he catches every time.
Yeah.
It'll be 3rd and 10.
And if we're really going to talk about last year, you know who won their bowl game last year, Tyler? Not Notre Dame. Should we go in depth about that?
I suppose you're just finding stuff to talk about.
I am.
In this kind of game.
I am finding stuff to anger my co-star.
Yeah.
Because it's enjoyable.
Not that there's been enough to be angry about tonight. Yeah. 3rd and 10. Caniglio looks to throw. Floater. Armstead's open. There's a flag down. Armstead's got it. He is into the end zone for a touchdown.
And there appears to be another flag on the field.
Yeah.
8:31 to go.
There was one at the 10-yard line where Armstead caught the ball. Now there's another one by the line of scrimmage. We'll see if these offset.
Possibly a pass interference and then an unsportsmanlike conduct.
I don't know.
But we'll see what the white hat says.
Holding defense.
So that will be declined.
Touchdown. Mason Armstead.
So the other flag might just be the back judge. Yeah. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense.
Yeah. 2 touchdowns tonight for Mason Armstead.
And on the defense.
My goodness.
They all set. So there was probably a little bit of chirping going on after the play.
Yeah.
And you never want that.
Yeah, you'd come to expect that in this kind of game.
Look at that. Prep's bringing out the swinging gate.
Oh, goodness.
Should be interesting.
What in the world?
They've practiced this play a couple of times. And on occasion, they bring the men back in like most college football teams do when they run into this formation, and it looks like they're going to do that here. Mateo DeGeorge is the holder for Foley.
Snap is low. DeGeorge does a good job to get the hold up, and the kick is through the uprights to make it 42-14.
There's a little bit of contact after the play. Both teams looking to talk it out, and the officials come in and separate everyone.
Yeah.
And the running clock has stopped. Prep's back in it, only a 28-point deficit.
Yeah.
And picking up the ball for Prep is Jack Stessman. He is a sophomore running back, and he was injured against Omaha North, tore his ACL, was out for the season. But before that ACL tear, he was having himself a game. He had 9 carries for 60 yards and was looking as good or better than Cassiopo.
Yeah.
And then his knee got hit. And it appears that number 70 for Prep, Keyshawn Pettis, the offensive and defensive lineman, has some sort of brace on his left leg.
So 8:26 to go in the fourth quarter. Prep has scored on 2 of their drives here in this half.
2 of their last 3, I think.
Yeah, 2 of their last 3. They've scored touchdowns. What have you seen from the Prep offense that's been different than the first half?
Well, they seem more willing to, if we exclude the last drive, they seem more willing to take deep shots, and they seem a little bit more freewheeling, like the kind of backwards pass from Caniglio to Armstead.
Oh, well, here's a high kick. Are they trying an onside? No, it's fair caught at the 34. Smart play by Doxson.
I think that's called a pooch kick, which is a short kick that isn't onside.
Another
but
flag.
can be recovered. And it appears that it will be on Doxson. Perhaps he made contact with an official.
What's going on here? It's starting to get pretty chippy late in this game. Unsportsmanlike on Elkhorn South.
Yes, likely will be on Doxson. And I believe you mentioned something earlier about not many things to be angry about in this game. It's not in anger anymore so much as it is just in, oh well.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Charlie Brown feeling. Just accustomed to poor performance.
Yeah, but on the field, the emotions are running high. We've seen some scraps after the play on the last drive, and now
3 unsportsmanlike conducts in the last 2 plays, which is kind of insane. And
the running back is Ben Warren.
He's gotten a couple carries so far.
If you're wondering where Hustad is, he's at the top of the screen. There's another flag here. The run is to Warren. This might not count, but he's going down the sideline at the 40, at the 30. Can they chase him down? They will not to the end zone for a long touchdown run, but it could be coming back.
It likely will be. Possibly an illegal motion. Yep.
Oh, man.
And it is on the offense. A terrific run there.
82 yards.
From Ben Warren, but it'll be wiped out.
And it all comes back.
Warren is just a sophomore. So in case anyone has been watching... In case anyone watching this broadcast has been saying, oh, well, Elkhorn South's not going to be that good next year. They're losing their starting quarterback and 2 of their best running backs. They've got some guys who are going to continue to make this team very successful.
They're loaded up. It'll be 1st and 15 back at the 13-yard line.
And guess who's back in the backfield?
Yeah.
Warren is motioned out, as is the guy who caught the touchdown, Guy Hunt. Pretty good guy.
Doxson in motion again. The give is to Hustad, and he is stopped immediately.
Bottled up.
Good tackle on the play. That is
number 33. That's
Max Sanders.
He's also the fullback for the Prep offense. And now finally, with the game wearing down, Elkhorn South probably not running as hard as they did in the fourth quarter, mostly because they don't have to.
Yeah.
This game has been over basically after the first 3 drives of the game. Yeah.
The give is to Brown. Excuse me, that is Doxson. Gets it to the 17-yard line. I'm honestly surprised that guys like Hustad and the quarterback Elliott Brown are still in the game here. 42-14, and the playoffs are next week. You don't want to risk injury.
You don't want to risk injury, but especially for quarterback, there's not many other options for Elkhorn South. One of them is Mackay Nelson Douglas, but he's a starting linebacker, and they probably need him elsewhere. They've also potentially got Dillian Krause. He's a junior who hasn't seen any action all game.
Doxson in motion. They hand it off here, and finding a crease is Hustad, but he's brought down. Nice play by Sanders.
Good little short run there from Hustad, and he just keeps it up all game.
And how about that? For the first time tonight, Prep forces a 3 and out.
Is it 3rd down or 4th? It is 4th down. Okay.
Yeah,
the stick guy took a while. The stick guys have been a bit iffy tonight. I think this is the first punt of the game for Brian Cross.
Yep, he's been kicking PATs.
And his kicking leg, he's proven it to be very powerful. So let's see what his punting leg can do.
Yep. Oh, nearly blocked, but he got it away cleanly.
No.
The return man here is Mateo DeGeorge, and he's tripped up at the 36. Flag down.
That was Hayden Stessman, the junior linebacker. He was inches away from blocking that punt and potentially turning the tide of this game, because if Prep scored, it would go down to 3 possessions with just 5:57 to go, and a punt block, or any block kick, obviously, is a huge momentum swing.
Let's check the flag here. Illegal block in the back on Prep, and that's going to move it back.
Got 5 yards on the return, make that -10. But Elkhorn South this season has been very good forcing turnovers. They forced 13, I believe, on the year, and 3 of them were blocked kicks. Luckily, Prep hasn't taken enough kicks for that to become a factor yet.
1st and 10 from the 27. Empty backfield for Caniglio. Looks to throw. That is going to be incomplete, nearly intercepted. Jumping the route on the play was Caden Ballard, who's had himself a nice game.
And I don't really think that was a great play by Ballard. It was just a bad play from the offense. Mason Armstead didn't even turn around. It looked like he was running another post corner, a POCO route, which is where a receiver runs a post for 2 steps after the cut and then cuts it back.
Outside.
Yes.
Yep.
But he didn't turn around. He didn't know that ball was coming. I think that's just a failure to communicate.
2nd and 10.
Timeout.
Caniglio and one of his receivers were having trouble figuring out the play, it appeared, and they're going to call a timeout and talk it over.
It appeared they had trouble figuring out the last play as well.
Yeah.
But I like what Prep's doing here. They know that in all likelihood the game is over, so they're just spreading it around and just trying to move down the field as quickly as possible.
So we've talked about, how Prep's played the second half going into the playoffs next week. What about Elkhorn South? I mean, how do you think they're going to fare?
Elkhorn South, I think, could be a dangerous opponent for a lot of teams that was kind of overlooked. Like, I knew Elkhorn South was talented. I expected this to be a game.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be them blowing us out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect us to blow them out, but I didn't expect this. And obviously the ranked teams they've played so far and lost to, those ranked teams didn't underestimate them, and they came to play. But this team nearly upset Millard South.
Caniglio on the move. He's going to throw toward the sideline. Is that Armstead
it is.
making the catch? He's got another one across the 40-yard line. 1st down, Creighton Prep.
I think the problem that happens with the running team is that the later you get into the season, the better they become. It's kind of like playing in Green Bay. Playing in Green Bay in September and October is just like, oh yeah, we can throw the ball around all we want. But in November and December, it's cold.
Yeah. Throwing.
Incomplete.
That looked like it hit the ground. Intended for Bullock. It was underthrown. 2nd and 10 coming up.
And Caniglio has had a decent game so far. There's an argument to be made that it's his worst one of the season, with 2 touchdowns against 2 interceptions and a couple of over and under throws. But that kind of actually bodes well for him, because if decent is your worst game of the season, you're probably a pretty good quarterback.
Yep. Caniglio was looking downfield. Now he's rolling left, fakes the throw, got the defender to jump, but that defender takes him out of bounds up near the 45.
That's Bo Weisler, junior linebacker for the Storm. 5'11", 200 pounds. That probably did not feel good for Caniglio. He'll be icing that tomorrow.
5 minutes on the clock here in the 4th quarter.
Cassiopo was in for that play. He now comes out for Mateo DeGeorge, number 8, who is at the top of your screen. It is 3rd down and
about 6 yards?
7?
Something like that.
Sure.
Medium range.
Sure.
Caniglio looks to throw. Rolling right, now stops, fires downfield. Armstead, it's intercepted. That is Trevor Winterstein with a 2nd of the game.
3rd for Caniglio, and another underthrow for Armstead. And really, that's just an all-around bad decision by Caniglio. An underthrow for normally an open receiver wouldn't be awful, but Armstead had 1, 2, maybe even 3 defenders in the vicinity who could have easily picked that off. And I don't know, it might be time for Elkhorn South to put their backups in.
Yeah, they might just end up running the clock out on this drive here and see who they run out.
It appears that
Will Skradis is the quarterback, first of all.
Will Skradis is a sophomore. He is 6'0" and 165 pounds. Let's see how he does.
Corbin Koenig, the running back. They give to him. He's the backup. Picks up 4 or 5 to the 36.
Well, that's not good. If their backups are getting 4 or 5 yards a carry against Creighton Prep's starting defense, that's going to tell you a lot about how the first round of the playoffs will go if Prep plays like this.
2nd and 5. From the 36.
It's impressive that Skradis is coming in now, because Elkhorn South, according to the depth chart that we received before the game of the program, has 3 other quarterbacks on the roster. If he's a sophomore, he's definitely flashed some talent.
Skradis gives it on a jet sweep. Luca Kozeny gets to the 37, 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, they have put the backups in by now, and we might get to see Skradis throw the ball here. And huddling up, taking their time, just 3:30 to go in this game. Much of the birdcage has left the stands or left the facility entirely.
3rd and 4. Motion man is Kozeny. Skradis gives it to the running back, and a big hit at the line of scrimmage. Corbin Koenig got nowhere to go. 4th down.
Good play there. I think the defensive end on that tackle was Sam Sledge, and he's just a freshman.
Yeah.
But he is going to be a terror for opponents in the future.
Absolutely.
6'3" at 240 pounds, which is kind of insane when you consider that both of us are older than that guy is, and both are shorter and lighter by about 3 inches and
a lot.
80 pounds, respectively, at least.
Yeah.
With you, it's probably more like 100 pounds.
Yeah, he is a freak. Punt team is on the field for Elkhorn South, so Prep's going to get it back one more time.
Yeah, Sledge hasn't gotten a lot of playing time so far this year, but with so many seniors leaving, he might even get the start next year. Nearly another block.
It's a high kick. This is going to bounce. It hovers around the 40-yard line. That's where it will be down.
Hayden Stessman has gotten past their punt blocking team twice, and it's basically just dumb luck he hasn't blocked it. So that's kind of a new gem we've discovered. Hayden Stessman is very good at getting past punt blockers.
Yep. So 1st and 10 here. Before this most likely final drive starts, what does Prep need to do in practice this week in preparation for the playoffs?
Well, what they need to do in practice, I don't know. I personally was not in attendance for this week of practice leading up to the game, but what they really need to do is go all out. Braden Woodward's in.
Yep, backup quarterback. He ran for 110 yards and 3 scores against Omaha Northwest in the blowout win 2 weeks ago. First pass is incomplete.
Boy, that seems like so long ago now.
Yeah.
And Prep had a similar thing like this happen last year to them. They were at 5-1 heading into week 7, I believe, and appeared to have an easy inside track to the playoffs. They lost their last 3 games, and it appears the same thing's happened here. They were 6-1.
This is a run play out close to the 45-yard line.
The runner appears down.
Help him up. Ball carrier was
33, Sanders.
Yeah. No, it's Bartak.
Oh, Bartak, sorry. And Prep's got a sophomore in at receiver now, too. Thomas Lyden, number 88. He is at the top of your screen, I believe. And Prep's put the backups in now, too.
3rd and 5. Woodward is going to keep it himself, and his elusiveness is going to get him a 1st down out to the 48 of Elkhorn South.
Woodward is kind of the football equivalent of a 6th man for Prep. He he'd start on a lot of other teams, but he's not starting on this team. He's starter level, plays with the backups, but he can make some plays.
Yeah. $1:30 remaining in this game. Ball at the 48 of Elkhorn South, 1st and 10 for Woodward and the Jays.
Still I formation.
Woodward's going to try to throw here. He's under pressure, sidesteps the first one, now flushed out to the left. He's just going backward, and he is brought down on the sack as Seth Gerber.
Gerber is a senior wide receiver and defensive lineman. You don't hear that combination of positions often.
Yeah.
6'1", 180 pounds, but he showcased his speed there because he was the one who blew by Woodward.
Yeah, and he still chased
on the
him
first
down.
play and managed to recover and get a sack, and that might be on Woodward too for failing to get the ball away sooner. 2nd and 22.
Woodward's gonna run it himself and get 1 or 2 yards.
Oh no! Great tackle by Eli Small, the freshman linebacker.
And it
for
looks
Elkhorn
like
South, and that
might take us to the end
that
of the
will
game.
likely do it. Just 20 seconds to go, and on senior night for prep, just a tough loss.
Not how you want to go into the postseason. Looks like they might take one more snap.
Clock under 10 seconds
It's
now.
at 6, 5, 4. They're snapping it.
Woodward
looking to throw. Not there, not there. Now just going to heave it downfield. That is incomplete, and that is your ball
Good
game.
defensive play by Brandon Haase.
A dominating win from Elkhorn South. The final score, the Storm 42, the Junior Jays of Creighton Prep 14 to close out the regular season.
Both teams will head into the playoffs with a record of 6-3 and likely top 10. But we'll see what happens when the playoff brackets come out sometime next week.
Well, that'll do it for this presentation of high school football on Creighton Prep TV. I'm Tyler Reedy.
I'm Brendan Prizeman, and hopefully we'll see you sometime.